So the sixth prince tells the emperor that he's going to visit the Maleid to give the Maleid presents as a way to apologize to the Maleid for the things that he and the third prince did, throwing the third prince more under the bus with the emperor. After he went to the third prince to get the third prince's tale, after telling the third prince, hey, I'm going to help you get the officials on your side, convince the emperor to release you from your, punishment. And the third prince believed him and gave him his tale, which the sixth prince only wanted it so he could get closer to the officials and bring the officials to his side. I am not kidding. You should not trust this person. I repeatedly scream that to the third prince, but he's in a book and he can't hear me. So he visits the Maleid to gift his presents. And the Maleid's like, okay, whatever, leave. And so he did. He leaves and he ends up running into the original love interest. And remember, in the original storyline, the original love interest ended up in the Maleid's hands because the sixth prince handed him over. And the only reason why he agreed to be handed over to the Maleid is because he was in love with the sixth prince and wanted to do anything and everything he could to help the sixth prince. That's why it was a dog blood romance. Chase the wife in the Caterium romance. Why the Maleid suffered horribly and vilely to the person he loved. For the person he loved. When the person he loved somebody else. It was not right. And, the original love interest runs to the person he loves, showing how much horrible, vile grief he's been through since he arrived in the Maleid's palace. He's begging the sixth prince to take him out. He wants to leave. He wants to go. And the sixth prince, thinking this is a ploy set up by the Maleid, which it was, backslaps the original love interest. Remember, the original love interest is only in the situation because he's doing it under the orders of the one he loves, who is the person who horribly slaps him and then states he doesn't know who he is. I am not kidding. This breaks the original love interest's heart right there and then. I'm like, you lost your most loyal comrade at this very moment. You made a horrible mistake. I'm telling the sixth prince. So for rewards, now the main character gets to see Maleid's secrets. He gets to choose, and after he chooses one, it gets replaced with a new secret. But yes, every time he completes a quest now or a mission now, he gets to see one of the Maleid's secrets. The first one he gets to see is what the Maleid did to the second prince. The whole attempting drowning him. And then now the second prince is left in a literal mental state. Yes, he now knows that the Maleid did that. He realizes the Maleid is pretending in front of him after the assassination attempt on the Maleid's life, and him killing his assassinator left the main character horribly, messed up after it. And the Maleid's like, oh, I won't do these things in front of my wife anymore. Now the main character realizes his husband's faking. The other one he sees is a woman being physically beaten after working on a little tiger stuffy. And he thinks this woman is trying to poison the Maleid because she has poison in her hand and she's being forced to do it. And it's against her will, only to see the woman poison herself. And I had already figured it was her. And later reveals that it must have been her, or at least someone close to her. When, they're at the cousin's wedding and they go to the Empress's old room at her family's home because, again, the cousin is his maternal cousin. Yes. And he's like, oh, it could have been her or someone close to her. Like, that secret was probably about her. And I'm like, yeah, it probably is. She was probably pregnant at the time with the Maleid and was forced to take the poison by somebody. Literally forced to take the poison, and that's probably why the Maleid is mute, was because of the effects of the poison. I am not sure, but that's my theory. That is my theory. Also, I love the fact how accepting the Maleid's family is to the main character. Like, they're giving him gifts. The grandfather and aunt are gifting him things like jade butterflies and pendants. They're like, be good to our boy. You're perfect for him. You're so adorable. You're so sweet. Like, they're just giddy all over him. You're smiling. They're just super grateful that he's in the Maleid's life. Like, I loved it. It was perfect. It was sweet. I love watching him interact with him, especially with the grandfather. I love how the grandfather interacts with the Maleid. Perfect. So the sixth prince, he's up to no good at the wedding. He brings a beauty in the original storyline. he gifted the beauty to the emperor, and he does this at the wedding by stating that he's going to gift her as a servant or messenger. I am not kidding. And he used this beauty in the original storyline to turn the emperor against the male lead and make himself look better in the emperor's eyes by having the beauty say things into the emperor's ears. I am not kidding. And he tries doing it at his own brother's cousin's wedding, somebody he has no ties to, because again, it's the male lead's maternal family's wedding. I am not kidding. This guy has no brain cells. Just like the main character who oversees and tries warning everybody what was going on, but at this point he's a fish, so he can't actually say anything or do anything except try to get everybody's attention. And the emperor uses the main character's, try and get people's attention to be like, oh, physicians, something's wrong with the male lead's fish, physicians, and get himself out of the situation. And I loved it. Like, the emperor using a fish to get out of taking a new concubine was just wonderful. And the main character going, you are stupid, to the Sixth Prince, because the Sixth Prince was really stupid to try to do that at his brother's cousin's wedding. Like, what? So the main character knows that at the emperor's birthday banquet, the Sixth Prince does a light show that will do the words longevity. I pronounced that right? I'm not sure. So he decides that he will do a fish show where he has the fishes do the formation of longevity. And now the Sixth Prince does try ruining it, like full on tries ruining it by having the fishes, come to him with fish food. He gets everyone to get hold of fish food to give the fishes rewards. But the main character knew he would try doing something like that. So he stays put, goes, I'm not lured by fish food, even though I love fish food. I'm not going to be lured away. I'm not going to ruin my efforts. And he has a water lily or some sort of flower in his mouth that he brings to the emperor. And he was already pleased by the longevity formation of fishes, but seeing the male lead's prize pet fish come to him with a flower pleased him more. Like, man was giddy. He was happy. Like, the male lead already gifted him 2 presents, one made by the male lead and by a famous artist, but this fish formation pleased him well. And now the Sixth Prince is left very angry and very upset, especially at the main character and wanting to get close to the main character, but luckily the head servant stops him from getting anywhere near the main character. Because of this fish formation, the emperor assigns the male lead a test to go to the western border, which is not safe. At first, the main character thought this was a punishment caused by something he did, the fish formation. The male lead goes, no, this is actually a test, not a punishment. My father has not stripped me of the status of prince, so that must mean he's testing me. And the main character goes, oh, you're right. And the male lead at first wanted to leave the main character. And the main character's like, no, I'm not staying. You're not leaving me. One of my missions is to stay with you through thick and thin. And this is probably the thick and thin mission I need to go with. So I have to be by your side. You're not leaving me. You hear me? You're not leaving me. We're going together. He even fakes that he's pregnant. Now, he tells the male lead right away afterwards because he feels bad for lying that he was pregnant. He's like, no, I'm not pregnant. But the male lead uses that against him later when they're setting out and he doesn't get in the carriage with the main character. And the main character's like, why aren't you getting in the carriage with me? And the head servant talks for him instead and goes, oh, he thought you'd be, claustrophobic with another person in it with you being pregnant. Now, this has actually made the head servant laugh in his head because men can't get pregnant. And the main character's like, oh, you bastard. But I'm like, you gonna be pregnant. You all gonna be pregnant. You gonna be pregnant with 4 babies. 4 babies. And later, another baby. But like, you sooner or later will be pregnant. Huh. Also, I'll admit this. I thought there was an artwork with him sitting in the male lead's lap and them holding his belly. But I guess that's actually in book 3 and not book 2. But for some reason, I kept thinking it was in book 2. I don't know why, but I did.